could do that, you go read Karl Marx, kill the hero. Well, Columbus is probably the first hero. And there's no evidence that he did any of these things. In fact, most of the atrocities they're talking about occurred 30 years after he left. If anything, he was benevolent. He tried very, very hard to avoid the wars that went on. But I mean, look, the people he brought over with him, they weren't saints, they were soldiers. But the people there were living in the third world, including a third world of violence where they scalped each other and killed each other and raped each other. And this wasn't a civilization they came to. This was a third, fourth world country. They had no idea of what they were facing. Columbus did everything he could to control it. He got out of control 40 years later, and he's being blamed for it. I mean, this history is like only 10 years old.
Okay, so do you know how you can tell that he doesn't actually have a lot of faith in his argument that Christopher Columbus didn't do any of the things they say he did, and it only got out of control 40 years later? When he immediately transitions to saying, they're wild savages anyway. They barely had a civilization. I mean, they only really knew violence. You don't have to justify the violence if the violence didn't happen. And you seem to clearly think that it did. And for once, Rudy Giuliani, you're onto something because it very much did. In a minute, we're going to do what we do every year. I feel it's my obligation as an Italian American is to remind you of all of the many varied, horrendous things that Christopher Columbus personally presided over that not only do we have a great understanding of because of modern day historians, but also we have contemporaneous accounts from his actual subordinates. So we're gonna give you all that in a minute. But JR, what did you think about Rudy Giuliani jumping into the apologizing for genocide business?
What is it that they're trying to sell? Like, why is this every year? We understand what people who are looking to support of indigenous folks are pushing. That's normalcy, that's recognition, that's truth, that's actual history. That stuff for some reason is seen as like, how dare they? But when you push BS like this that has nothing to do with reality, he says there's no evidence of it, which I'm sure you're gonna get to. There's no evidence of Christopher Columbus pulling off these massacres. What the hell are you looking for? What, TikTok videos or Instagram? You're looking for somebody filming, body cam? What are you looking for from Christopher Columbus coming over to a country or land where he decided to massacre people and treat them the way that he did? What's your evidence based on that you said doesn't exist? Like this again.
Well, there is evidence, Jay.
Yeah, but
it's
there's
the
no
evidence in your
videos,
gut
John.
of I would prefer not to believe it. Is that not evidence in a way?
Except it's evidence for them because again, they are the purveyors, they're the guardians of truth and evidence. If they don't like it, it's no longer truth. We're not including it in our education. It's not actually in history books anymore. It's what we want. That's the whole basis for this white privilege, this white superiority that they think they have. Why is it that your truth is the truth when other folks are like, this is the lived experiences here? Biden, last thing, just on his initial comments. It was a third and fourth world country, savages, uncivilized, all that stuff that they like to say has all those same dog whistles that we've always heard. But since we're talking about third and fourth world countries, have you taken a glimpse down in Mississippi? Have you taken a glimpse down in the southeast of the country where whenever hurricanes do destroy communities and kill people and leave them without food, water, power, anything for months, years? What's the situation in Mississippi in the water? Is that a third world country situation? The fact that we can talk about and boast how great the country is. We're the best in the world. We're first world country. F you and your third and fourth world people, you're savages down there. The degree to which you care about your country is based on the people who have it the worst. So you're proud that America has these people who live in palatial castles, but then folks who literally can't get water to feed and drink and bathe in. That's the basis for our great first world country. It's as good as the worst parts of it.
It is all just, we believe that we need to believe the mythology of how America was founded. They do not care how it was actually founded. Let's be very clear about that. And to the extent that they do discover how it was founded, they're perfectly fine with. They don't care. But they need to believe that everything was great and everything was divine because When you are personally mediocre, you need to stand on an artificially constructed edifice of your own grandiosity. Like, I don't need to be great because we're great. We've always been great. God smiles upon us. So it doesn't matter if I personally suck. It doesn't matter if the greatest thing that I've done the last couple of years is stand in front of a landscaping company and sweat myself silly. I am one of the greats and I stand on the shoulders of giants I made up in my own mind.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.